The Evo is one of those raw, special cars. The powerful turbocharged inline-4 paired with Mitsubishi's advanced all-wheel drive system delivers a rally car-like experience like no other. Each evolution of the Evolution improved power, technology, and aerodynamics. And this right here is the final iteration of the Evo, the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 10. Let's get into it. First introduced in 1992, the Evo is Mitsubishi's answer to the growing demand for turbocharged all-wheel drive cars. Built to meet the homologation requirements of the World Rally Championship, which required manufacturers to build and sell a certain number of road-going vehicles in order to compete in the racing series. This is the same process that gave us the Evo's main competitor, the Subaru WRX STI. Unfortunately, Americans were only able to enjoy the Evo in the confines of Gran Turismo, Initial D, or Japanese media like Option or AutoWorks, until the Evo finally came stateside in 2003 in its 8th iteration. Starting with the front of the Evo 10, I love how aggressive the front bumper and grille look. Combined with the hood vents and hood scoops, you can tell it's designed to strike fear in the hearts of Subaru owners when they see it in the rearview mirror. Moving on to the side of the Evo, it's hard to miss these beautiful wheels designed by Enkei. They're super iconic and they look right at home on the Evo. Not to mention these fat Bembo brakes. We've driven the car on a little bit and they make the car stop on a dime. It's fantastic. Also on the fender you have these brake vents that look real, and they are real. The side skirt fits the body line so nice. Taking a step back and looking at the car, it really has a really nice side profile thanks to these side skirts. Once the Evo passes that Subaru owner, the first thing they'll notice is this humongous swing on the back of the car, matched with this sick aggressive diffuser. This car is sitting on BC coilovers and modified with an ETS intake, ETS test pipe, an MAP, charge pipe, and down pipe with an open wastegate. Combined with the full exhaust, sounds sick. Every generation of the Evo before this one came with the legendary 4G63 engine. When built the right way, it's capable of over 1,000 horsepower. However, for the 10th and final iteration of the Evo, Mitsubishi decided to go with the 4B11. This engine is an aluminum block compared to the iron block that the 4G63 is. Getting into the interior of the Evo, the first thing you'll notice are these sick Recaro seats. As far as OEM Recaros go, I think this might be one of my favorites. The bolstering on these are perfect for a guy my size. I'm 5'10" and I'm comfortable. I feel like the steering wheels have been too big or too bulky, whereas this is the right size. I really could see myself on a racetrack with the steering wheel. If I got one of these, I don't think I'd change the steering wheel. I think it's perfect. This is a car from 2011, but the screens on the initial dash or speedometer in front of you communicates all the information you need. The coolant temp of the car, the fuel, and when you're driving and turning, it tells you where the car is putting the torque. As far as the rest of the interior, it is a Mitsubishi from 2011, but I gotta say, it's really not that far off as far as modern cars go. Joe, the owner, has added a CarPlay system, and I think just installing this really updates the whole interior and you forget some of the aging in here. Another thing to add about the 10th iteration of the Evo is that there's two models. The GSR, which is what we have here, is the 5-speed manual, and the MR is a DCT automatic. I'm really happy that Joe owns a GSR because I cannot imagine how a automatic would suit this car. I'm sure it's good, but I think in order to really enjoy the full amount of car, of the experience the Evo has to offer, the manual is the way to go. Although we're back on the outside of the vehicle, one more interior thing I want to add is that this has the Rockford Fosgate subwoofer from a car from 2011. Subaru is just adding these now, okay? This is from 2011 and it has this, a subwoofer. Just like another all-wheel drive Japanese monster, the Evo has a hidden reservoir for the all-wheel drive system in the back. god, it's so violent. We're working with like 350-ish horsepower here, and it's not a lot, but it's just enough to be rowdy. The wastegate noise is crazy. The thing is, it's so violent, but the car is so stable. I don't feel the car all over the road or anything. The BC coilovers do a great job of just holding the car, and these tires are fine. The power delivery is so linear and smooth that you almost forget that it just punches you. I don't know how to describe it any other way. It's not enough to put you in your seat, but it's violent. That's exactly how I'm gonna describe it. That's how I feel. The whole day we've been having so much fun just in this thing. It's just crazy. And it sounds insane. Oh my god, it handles great, it handles the power great, and I'm really, really happy I had to drive a car like this, experience this rawness. Of course, not every car is perfect. The Mitsubishi is not without its flaws. The interior is a little bit dated, and Joe fixed this by adding a CarPlay module. The interior does rattle, the plastics are a little old. It's not gonna feel as luxurious as a more modern car would. It's kind of noisy and loud in here. It's on coilovers, so the ride isn't as smooth as a modern car would be. But I think what makes up for it is the car's aggressiveness, the way it gets into the power and the driving experience it offers makes up for its shortcomings. When I started getting into cars, I drove WRXs and STIs, and I felt like they weren't a good fit for me. So I wrote off, the all-wheel drive, turbo hot hatches and sedans. But getting into the Evo and going through the gears and experiencing this brutal acceleration and really, really precise handling has changed my mind. Well, the STI may not be for me. I think the Evo is much more my speed. Compared to WRXs I've driven or STIs I've driven, the transmission is a lot smoother. I am really not a fan of the looseness or ill communication that the WRX transmissions have provided me. I think this is a lot more communicative. I can tell you what gear I'm in a lot easier. It goes right into gear. It's almost like shotgun-like, the way you kind of put it right into gear and the car just goes. It sounds crazy. I know I keep on bringing it up, but to talk about this car and not mention its direct competitor, the STI, is almost criminal. To me, the two cars are like cats and dogs. The Subaru is like a friendly golden retriever, always ready for a spirited drive, whereas the Evo handles with cat-like precision, and once you get it on a racetrack or in some of these corners, it has a barely contained killer instinct like a cat would. When you buy a luxury car, you want the money to go into the interior to be nice and plush. But when you buy a sports car, where do you want the money to go? The engine, the transmission, the brakes, the suspension. All the big complaints about the Evo are the interior, how it's a Lancer, but the money went into the engine, the brakes, the suspension, the transmission. I mean, it's a great car. And comparing this car to the modern day GR Corolla and WRX makes sense when you think about it. Those cars have the same lackluster interior. The Evo is just a Lancer interior with bucket seats. The GR Corolla is just a Corolla interior with bucket seats. The WRX is just an Impreza on the inside. When you really think about it, when you compare those cars to this car, it makes sense. So, you're probably thinking, did they spend the whole video talking about an L that Mitsubishi took 10 years ago? No. We're talking about an L that the car industry is taking right now. There are no cars in this price point that offer a similar experience. You're probably thinking, Ari, what about the WRX? What about the GR Corolla? The WRX is 10 years newer and is way slower than this is. And the GR Corolla is so caught up in car industry standards and filters that you lose so much of what cars like this are intended for, the raw experience. So do I think that the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 10 competes with these cars? No. I think the experience offered here beats them outright. Huge thank you to Joe for letting us borrow his Evo 10 for the day. It's been an absolute joy to drive and a very eye-opening experience. And a very big thank you to you for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. As always, I've been Ari from Boost Life, and we'll see you in the next one.